Welcome to the third instalment of Reveurovision. We will be reviewing Slovenia's entry for this year's competition. But will their entry be making us say amen or hell no? So, Slovenia's Eurovision entry this year is going to be Anna Soklič and her song Amen. Now, a bit of kind of history about Slovenia in the song contest. They first debuted in 1993 as kind of part of that big post-Soviet wave that kind of Eurovision has seen since the collapse of the Soviet Union. They do tend to mix it up by singing in their native language or in English. I mean, they've had a fairly kind of rocky history in Eurovision. Their kind of best result has been 7th. Which is kind of obviously not that great, but the last 3 entries have all been sung in Slovene, but this year they're singing in English, and let's have a little listen. James, what do you think of this year's entry for Slovenia?
I thought it was okay. I think it was quite good. I felt like they're sort of coming for Austria in a way, with the same title. But I was getting some Celine Dion vibes from it. I've got to be honest. I thought it was quite good. But I thought that was it. I think it was good. It was okay, but not amazing. That was a bit disappointing, really. I felt like it had potential. I think it could have been a Bond song. It had that feel about it. But for me, it didn't quite go up enough. I felt like she could have taken it further, and it didn't. And I think that's quite a shame. And I think because of that, it struggles to sort of get itself out of that middle space on the table, I think, and that could be a disadvantage to them, really.
And Jack, what are your thoughts?
I think you're completely right to say that it sounds like a Bond song. Bond songs have either gone very, very well, such as Conchita in 2014. Or they've gone really badly, like Belgium 2018. So it's really they either fly or completely sink, and I think this is going to be a sinker, unfortunately. So her song last year, people generally hated it. It was called Water. And the Eurovision community really was not a fan of it, and I actually did like it. I thought it was a really nice ballad in Slovene, and I think actually she's brought it down a level this year. I'm not as impressed with it. I think it's quite ballad by numbers. I feel like her enunciation isn't good enough to make me completely understand what she's saying, which is, I know, a horrible judgment to make, but I can't really relate to it all that much. And I struggle to actually have an opinion about it because it's so bland. It's quite unremarkable, I think. I mean, she does strike me as the type of person. I'm sure she's a very, very nice person, but the way that she performed this year and last year, I don't know, she strikes me as the type of person whose favourite drink is water. Like, she's just got nothing about the performance. There's nothing about the song. It's just very beige.
Harsh words there, Jack. Although I'm kind of tempted overall to agree, it doesn't really do anything for me. I think it lifts and comes to kind of like the climax of the song too late, and by that point I'm already kind of tuned out because I think it kind of hits only at like the second half of 2 minutes. So I'm in kind of complete agreement with you guys. I don't think it particularly stands out on its own. I mean, she has a really interesting deep voice, but for me it's not going to be on the Spotify playlist. We'll put it that way. So guys, where are you the next question will be, where would you kind of rank it, and do you think it'll make it to the final? Jack, I'll go to you first.
Well, it's performing second in the first semi-final, and the first semi-final is without doubt one of the hardest ever. It is ridiculously good first semi-final. And I think it doesn't benefit at all by coming immediately after Lithuania. If you haven't listened to that review yet, head back to that one. And I think it will immediately, after you've had the flashy colourness and the quirkiness of Lithuania, I think Slovenia is going to be like a black hole and nobody's going to remember it. So I think there's very, very little chance of it qualifying. Maybe if it was in the other semi-final, it might, but I don't think it stands much of a chance in this one. And I think it's a contender actually for finishing last. In terms of my personal ranking, I put it as 33 out of 39. So there are worse songs, and trust me, there are worse. But just because there are worse doesn't mean this is good. So 33 is where I've put Slovenia.
Very interesting. And James, on to you.
I very much agree with Jack, really. And same, I think we agree in terms of our fashion choices as well with today's T-shirt choices. But
why not?
It's the summer. But I think it could be an interesting one, because I think it's almost a sort of La La Land type situation, I think, in that if they find the right way of putting it in the rundown, it could do fairly okay. It could sort of get it through. But if it does, I think very much it's an easy one to be forgotten within the main contest. I put as my personal ranking that it would come 34, so just one behind Jack. I think it's going to be really hard for them to try and stand out from the crowd and get the votes as well, because I don't really think the public would vote for it in the same way. But we shall see.
Yeah, I would tend to agree. I was a bit more generous than you guys. I ranked it as 29 for mine.
It's exactly generous still, though, is it? 29's.
Yeah.
It's still pretty low.
Yeah, and I think, in the kind of the actual final, there's a thing about if a country performs second. I don't think a country has ever won the contest having performed second. So I think that probably that bad luck will be kind of similar in the semi-finals. So that gives us a grand total for Slovenia of 98, which is not great. But yeah, that's our thoughts. And if you agree or disagree, feel free to comment below or like or dislike our video and follow us on all the socials at reveurovision. And that's been it for our third episode. We'll see you next time.